to the mountaintop. Feel the rhythm of the beat won't stop. Hands up high, let the bassline drop. It's just a sound that'll make you hop.
All right, welcome to Been to the Mountaintop. This is the Stoked Edition. I have our illustrious program manager, Pierre. How you doing, Q?
Good, not bad. How are you?
Good. So this is our first episode where we sort of recap what we've done this week. We have a lot of stuff that we've been working on, a lot of stuff that we're doing. We have just an update. We are expanding to 10 schools, right? Me and Salama are running in the New York City Marathon. And then we have our 20th anniversary event on November 6th. So I didn't tell you the newest addition to the event. You want to hear it?
I do.
We're going to break the world record.
Of what? What are we aiming for?
The most mentoring pledges in 24 hours.
What is it at currently? Do you know?
1,500. We can do that, don't you think? You think we could get you think we could get more than 1,500 people from around the country to commit to being a mentor? You think we could do that?
I think. Oh,
This is for around the country. You don't think about your little neck of the world.
right. This is all over. We're talking. No, we for sure can do that. I mean, oh my God.
That's not a lot of people. 1,500 people.
Yeah, I mean,
15. I mean, the record is 1,500. You don't think we could get 2,000, 3,000 people to say, "Hey, look, I want to mentor a kid on a skateboard, snowboard, surfboard in life, to be a positive role model, to be." You don't think that's possible?
I think anything's possible, right? It's just 1,500 in 24 hours is. It's a time frame where I'm like, holy schmet.
No, we have a plan.
That would be
We have a
awesome.
plan. This is because we got 2 months to do it. We're literally what we're gonna do. And so anyway, we got this 20-year anniversary coming. And what I like to do with events is I like to make them an experience. So there's gonna be an art auction, there's gonna be music, there's gonna be a silent auction going, right? There's gonna be lots of people supporting Stoked. And then one of the parts of the event is that we're going to get people from around the country. We're going to be promoting this for 60 days, right? Starting in September we're going to get people to commit to pledging to be a mentor. That's all we're going to do. And so by the time the 24 hours comes, the plan is that everybody that had pledged and committed to, they're just going to sign up that day to be a mentor.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like a plan, Ben. I think that's doable.
You got scared.
I think
You
that's
got scared.
doable.
You got
So
scared.
I was like, holy smokes.
Hey,
We
so
reach everyone.
but before we dive in too deep, why don't you just introduce yourself and how long you've been at Stoked and what have you been working on?
Yeah, so my name is, well, my full name is Quanez. I'm Quanez Pierre, but I go by Q, C-U-E. It's just easier for people to say for the most part. I've been working with Stoked for, I think it'll be 3 years next week. I started off as a part-time action sports coach. Then from there, I just sort of built up to becoming a coordinator, then becoming a manager, and then eventually whatever the next steps are after being a manager and whatnot. But the last week or so, it's just been really focused on getting altar schools who were interested and altar schools that we met with and have had discovery calls with. It's just been trying to get them to, fully partner with us, get through the ropes of scheduling times when we're going to meet, trying to figure out how many coaches we're going to need, how many coaches they're going to need, and trying to figure out what their youth is going to need for them to be successful for the rest of the school year when we go in with our coaches. Something that came up this week was actually starting up our hiring process for a new action sports coach. And I think it's been a year since we rehired or hired, I guess,
Yeah.
a new coach. So we changed it around a little bit, doing it a little bit differently than what I remember we've done it like in the past. But we are really just looking for people who we're not looking for someone who's gonna have all the answers, but we're looking for people who are like here to learn, here to grow, here to not only help our youth grow, but also like grow themselves, because that's super important. specifically for me as well as a manager, it's like someone who wants to come in and eventually take my job. I think that's how we become successful because everyone's pushing at the same pace and carrying their own weight if we're hiring people like that. And I think that's what our kids need. That's what we need. And that's what's going to make Stoke 2.0 successful.
So back up a little bit. So
Yeah.
I came back at the beginning of the year. It's been about 8 months so far. What changes have you seen in Stoke since I came back?
Well, you want changes on the outside perspective or more on the inner perspective?
I mean, from your perspective, like, the people watching this are supporters. So, like, what has changed? What have we changed internally in terms of like how the organization run, how programs are approached?
I think internally on our side, especially specifically on the staff side, I think everyone's a little bit more confident in what we're doing. I think having a leader who understands and knows what we're doing and believes in what we're doing, it's definitely a change, right? I think that'll sort of make or break what we're doing. And I think with you being back, it's like we're not spending time trying to plead a case of what we're doing and why what we're doing it's important. It's just really we've been given a lot more free reins and a lot essentially trust on your part, understanding that a we are products of this industry or the industries that we're in, and b that we believe in what we're doing. We believe in the power of skateboarding, snowboarding, surfing, all of that. And you kind of give us a lot of, or should I say, much more than what we were given in the past. You give us a lot of breathing room to sort of exercise our ideas, our thoughts, be a little bit more creative about doing things, and also just overall helping us align and ensuring that what we're doing is meaningful, what we're doing is impactful, and what we're doing is the best of what we can do for that day. Is it the best overall? That's not what we're looking for, but it's like, let's do what we can do today and then worry about how we can improve it tomorrow. And I think that's been sort of the biggest change in having you come back from January. And then on my side, it's just like being able to like actually manage and actually take on responsibilities where it's like, if I don't get it done, that could be an issue, but like you trust that I can get it done, I will get it done. And I think that's been helpful in our success in the last few months. It's just allowing everyone to understand what their roles are, and then at the end of the day, trusting them to do what they have to do to get it done. Because we all care about this work. We all want to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. What could you remember last time we talked to you right before the last board meeting in terms of like how many kids do you have any stats and numbers of kids that we served? Do you remember?
Yeah, so this year we had about 308 Stokers.
Yeah.
So those are kids who signed up with us and were official. And then overall attendance, we had over 2,332 kids attend sessions. We had, well, not kids attend sessions, but
Cumulative
attend,
yeah.
yeah. We worked with kids for over 1,300 hours.
That's crazy.
We
That's
were,
crazy.
that's and that's not counting like outside of program time. Yeah, as our coaches spend a lot of time with the kids even after the programs, after the 2.5 hours is up.
Yeah.
And then we had 62 kids who returned with us this year, so that means majority of the kids that we served were new Stoke kids,
Mhm.
which is pretty amazing. And then we had 45 of our kids, I think over 45 of our kids
Graduated
from
from
high
high
school,
school,
which
yeah.
is another giant win. And that's only counting New York City. That's not even the five boroughs because I think this year we were only in Manhattan,
Bronx.
the Bronx, and then we have one school in Brooklyn. So we didn't even have a school in Queens. We didn't have a school in Staten Island. We weren't out in Long Island. That was specifically
Yeah.
those three boroughs.
Yeah. That's cool. That's very cool. What talk about what we did this summer and what
This
made it
summer,
successful.
I mean, this summer was a summer for sure. I feel like the summer was nonstop, which is great. I think there was a lot of things happening. We brought back our weekend skate mentor sessions, which is something that we've notoriously done in the past, but for as long as I've been a part of Stoked, we haven't done it, and we successfully brought it back, revamped it, added a few things that's just gonna help
Yeah, we
more
partner
easier.
with West Side
Yeah.
Skates too, right?
Yes, sir. And we're hoping to partner with different skate parks within like around the city just to act as essentially hubs for our kids to go to, regardless of where they are. We also continued our internship program. We've always done internship programs during the summer and winter, but this was the first year where it was a full-on job experience internship
Mm-hmm.
for the kids who were in it. It was catered to kids who had literally just graduated high school. They graduated, they went through the process with me and, writing essays to get approved for the internship and taking all the steps that they needed. And there were many, many steps to get into Camp Woodward. They applied for Camp Woodward and were partnered with them. And as partners, they took in a lot of our kids who we referred, and they absolutely crushed it. They stayed there for an entire month. We were there 2 weeks out of the month that they were there. But for the most part, they were there for 4 months. 4 months, 4 weeks straight, all by themselves. First times living alone.
Wow.
They learned a lot of things about themselves, and I think it was a moment that prepared them for the future. And for me, it was like that was something that I was super happy to be able to sort of plan and coordinate and whatnot, because I essentially wouldn't have worked for Stoked if I didn't work at Camp Woodward. Because I was just a normal skater. I didn't know there were organizations like this. I knew there were like paid coaching things where people go out and teach kids in the skate park, but I didn't know there was like a mentorship,
Like a career.
like a career pathway other than going pro in skateboarding until I went to Woodward, and I was like, but this is only a summer thing. I got home and I was just like, how do I get into something like this in New York? Like, what does that look like? And then one of my good friends sent me the Instagram post that you guys made of you guys were hiring. And I went, signed up, and I was just like, well, now I'm in it. 3 months after, I completely understood everything about what we were doing, felt like what we were doing was super important, got the message super quickly. And from there, I was just like, from there at the time, I was actually working at Dunkin'. I was put in the Dunkin' Donuts. So I stayed there for like 2.5 years. And I took that job very seriously. And I was going for it, but got to the point where I was just like, this is great and all because it pays more or whatever, but it's like I can't put any time into Stoked. I can only show up to the actual programs and that's it. There's no time for me to try to move up or anything. So I think 2 or 3 months into working at Stoked, I quit Duncan and I was like, I got to go all in. Like I got to figure out something. At the time, I think I was only working at one school, so that was like I think at most 10 hours a week. And I was just like, I got to make this work somehow. But I was also going to school and, getting financial aid from going to school and things of that sort. So that was supporting me and allowing me to continue as a coach. And then after that, I think it was the summer of that year where I kind of was like, all right, I'm going to try to take more of a leadership stance, because it was like at that point, James had already left. I think we had just got a new program manager, and they were still learning and things of that sort, but I was the person who was there for the longest, or one of the people who were there for the longest at the time. And that summer I was just like, how do I, you know, sort of what do I have to do to go to the next step? And I got a great opportunity in going out to work with the kids in the Bronx during that summer. And there were a series of reasons why I'm super happy to have.
I lost you where you said you decided to go all in. At the time you only had 10 hours. How did you end up moving up?
It was that summertime. So that summertime, I kind of spoke up about a few things that I saw that was happening, and I showed like, hey, I care about this work and I care about the kids and I think we can do better. And for lack of a better term, that's sort of what I said. I was just like, we can do better. We should be doing better. How do we do better? And I presented it in a very respectful and like professional manner. And I think that's when I started climbing is when I was able to speak up about something that was kind of hard to speak up about. I realized, okay, in doing that and in being able to advocate, being able to communicate, being able to understand challenges and why things are a certain way, um, I think that's gonna push me to be more successful. And after that summer, I think the boss at the time saw and they were just like, you want to do this, you love to do this. How do we continue to have you do this? And then coordinator, and then from coordinator, it took me a while to grow into that role, but I eventually did. Then I went to manager, and now I'm here.
That's cool. That's very cool. Yeah, man, it's been fun working with you. You definitely keep up, and I think one of the things you keep up and you learn really fast and you adapt. You adapt to, new technology. We've been pretty AI enabled at Stoked, would you say?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we're about to be even more AI enabled.
Which I'm excited about because I mean, and not to harp on AI a little, but like I don't think I would have been able to do my job for a while until I found AI. Especially as a coordinator before you came. I think in me just jumping on the coordinator, there was no like lined up like this is what you do, this is what you do, this is what you do. It's just kind of like, hey, can you do this thing? And I'm just kind of like, I don't know what that thing is, but I'm gonna type it into this chat and then
And you
read
figure
it
it out. You figure it out.
out.
You figure it
That's
out.
all it was, and I think that's honestly how I was able to do so well and be here. It's like helping to helping to format emails a little better, helping to like down things in an email or just communicate with people overall. That's I mean, that was a nice help from AI, only because it just puts it in plain word and it doesn't have
It
essentially
makes it makes it makes it makes sure it speeds up your time, right?
yes,
So
for sure.
and you're a lot more efficient. What so how many people are on the team now?
On the team now we have four coaches, and then one manager. So it's only five of us. Small team, but strong.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this upcoming school year. One of the things that was really cool was we like repackaged the program, the after school program. You want to talk a little bit about that and what makes it different than before?
Yeah, so we repackaged our school year. So instead of just providing a bunch of programs and going like, hey, just match and figure out which one works for your school, we instead created recommended program packages, where it's just like we chose a focus on what essentially that package is hoping to achieve. So one of our packages is called the Risers program, and that's supposed to it's a middle school program that focuses on pushing the upperclassmen and well, it's not really upper or lower classmen in middle school, but pushing middle school kids and preparing them for high school. I'm sorry. I thought you were breaking up there. Pushing middle schoolers to prepare them for high school, and then so forth. And then we have another program called the Pathways program, which is a high school program, which includes like our internship programs, which includes more snowboarding trips because we know how impactful our snowboarding trips are for kids. And then it just introduces more like workshops and trying to help them and prepare them for life after high school, and then trying to help them figure out college, if they're going to college, if they're not going to college, what's an alternative, what things of that sort. But all of our the new program package, which is a way to sort of be more intentional with the way that we were communicating and working with the
Yeah.
kids that were served.
Yeah, for sure. And then just for folks to know, like how overall, how are our kids doing? How are city kids doing, feeling? What's their sentiment? Like, what could you tell us about the kids that are Stoke kids? Like, a majority of them are from, we work with a lot of kids from Bronx and Harlem, right?
Yeah.
This year, we're gonna have more kids in Brooklyn this year, right?
Yep. We're gonna have
Any in
some
Queens?
some
We have in
talk.
Queens. Oh, we may have a Queens. Oh yeah, we'll definitely have
Yeah,
Queens.
yeah, we're locked in with Queens.
So yeah, so Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Queens. Okay, and then so tell us about the kids. Like, what are they like? What are they into? What's their overall sentiment and feeling?
Yeah, I mean, our kids are a lot. What we hear from a lot of our partner schools is that our kids you can identify them the minute you sort of walk down the hallway. They are kids who just embody this spirit of essentially optimism. They communicate very well. They are very outspoken. They are very like, hey, if we don't like something, we're going to tell you we don't like it. Hey, if we need something, we're going to tell you that we need it. And, they are, I feel like I read a lot and it always says things about we're going to come in and we're going to help kids build or be resilient. But I think they are already resilient. I think they are strong. They go through a lot more than what we see, what we know, what we think. And the fact that they still show up to programs like ours, the fact that they still show up to school, the fact that they even show up to weekend things, that shows that they are trying, they are doing their best, and they are showing up. And that's pretty much like our kids. They are the definition of stoked. They embody stoked. They embody the core values: success, teamwork, openness, credos, energy, determination. Whether they know it or not, like they are essentially just built different, for lack of a better word.
I, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm super excited to continue this. I don't know if I told you, I didn't tell you this, but with these, I'm going to be interviewing a lot of alumni from Stoke for the past 20 years. Any notable supporters? Like I just saw on, did you see my LinkedIn post about the Stoke former Stoker that got his MBA from Wharton? Did you see that on
I
LinkedIn?
did see that. I did see
Oh
that.
yeah, he's from Brooklyn. Yeah, it's really his name was Vincent, but he goes by Ade now. But I think he's Ghanaian. But anyway, he was so cool. He was so cool. He was cool in high school. He was cool now. But like, yeah, I mean, imagine a Wharton MBA coming to talk to kids. Like that's
Yeah.
like, yeah. And he went to, you know where he went to? So he went to City Polytech, right here in downtown Brooklyn. Not too far. That's in downtown Brooklyn. But anyway, it's they were a partner. And then you know what? I was actually surprised to hear that like we've been with Bronx Lab for 10 years.
Over 10 years. So Brendan has been there for 9 years. And when he
Wow.
got there, he would ask questions about like, what's that program? And then he said that when he had just got there, they were saying, oh, that's Stoke. They've been here forever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, I,
well,
I I'm the one that signed up that program. And I
do
used
you remember what year you did it?
with what year?
Yeah, what year?
I don't know, maybe 2011, 2010, maybe 2010. I don't actually remember. Like I mean, I know that they were always a partner. And then that what's their neighborhood in the Bronx called?
I'm not even sure. I know it's by Gun
Is
Hill.
it Gun Hill? Is it Gun
It's
Hill?
Gun Hill. Yeah.
It's Gun Hill. So I went there and dude, I went there and I was like, I saw that neighborhood and I was like, oh my God. We're like literally, we're the only thing that was happening at that school. And they didn't have a lot of money. And I remember I just kind of, I'm not saying I felt bad, but I was like, there were years where I funded out of our own operating money because they didn't have any budget to pay us. And
Wow.
like for real, like I felt so bad. Like I saw it was really desolate and it was like there's a food desert up there. I saw like prostitutes, drug dealers. It was not like a welcoming environment and a welcoming place. So like I'm really excited. Like at least 14 years deep now, you know. So I'm I'm really really excited. Anyway, what are you kind of looking forward to for the fall as we wrap up this conversation?
What am I looking forward to this fall? I'm looking forward to getting all the programs rolling. That's a big one. I'm can't wait to see how the coaches interact with the new group of kids who they're going to be working with. I think this year or last school year, we had a lot of kids who have been, well, a lot of the kids who I started with are essentially all gone now. So I'm like very interested to see what the next generation of Stoke kids are going to look like.
They're younger
Especially
too. It's a different generation. Like 17-year-olds are way different than 13-year-olds for sure. Like,
yes.
yeah, they're very, very different.
It's a complete essentially like reboot for us. Like the kids who are coming in are completely new to what we're doing. So I'm excited to see how they interact with our programs and see the challenges that they bring to the curriculum that we currently have to eventually go, how do we make this appeal more to them?
Yeah. We're gonna have to adapt for sure.
Oh yeah, we're sure the same stuff will not work. So I'm excited to see what they encourage us to sort of come up with.
Cool. Anything else for any other questions for me that maybe you think any other people would want to know about?
Yeah, I mean, what are you kind of most like hyped up about for the next not even 6 months, but for the next, let's think even further, for the next 5 years for stuff?
Yeah, I listen, I want to be able to I want to be able to I want to be able to fulfill the vision that we originally had, right?
Mm,
And creating that cycle of mentors where the kids that are 14 and like 5, 10 years, they have career opportunities, they have options, they have a community. I mean, really, it's about options to me. It's about being able to make sure that they could go to college, they could get a job, they could take a gap year, but they're always connected to Stoke. They have to be
mhm,
connected to the community and always passing on. Like the same way that you are getting mentored by me and Devin, I want you to be able to mentor other kids in the future. And then maybe it's not me and Devin that are mentoring you. Maybe you have another mentor to teach you another set of skills. And I want, either Dennis or Josiah to be able to mentor other kids, or Megan
mm.
to mentor other kids. And as those kids sort of elevate, just because that's literally that's how we're going to grow. That's how we're going to get out of the situation that we're in now, so that there's more opportunities that are created. So for me, that's really it. It's just like the vision of creating this ecosystem of mentors. That's the most important right now. And honestly, I love skateboarding, snowboarding, surfing, but it doesn't even have to be about that.
Yeah,
It's about connecting. It's about connecting around culture. It's connecting around values. It's around, creating that. Like for me right now, I'm super excited that that there's a new school year starting,
mhm,
and that there's new potential, you know every time we get new schools, I get really excited, because
mhm,
like new schools means new opportunities. It means new energy. It means
yeah,
new, just like a way for us to make an impact in a school community, right? Like
mhm,
Bronx Lab is fundamentally different because we are there.
yeah,
And a lot of the other schools that we've been at, like, they're different. Like, I hear back from the kids that are adults now. They're like, Steve, thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for Stoke for being for creating those opportunities. Like, and now those young people, their perspective has changed because they had a mentor, they had this experience, they had that experience. And like, yo, that's what life is supposed to be
yeah,
like right now. Like, young people need experiences. And especially now with being able to make sure that, like, money is hard to come by for low income communities, experiences are hard to come by. Like, all of the things outside of the classroom are really hard to come by. And I see Stoke fulfilling that opportunity for young people. And
we're
you're
gonna
part of
do
it.
it.
And you're
We're
part
gonna
of it.
keep doing it. Yeah.
All right. So how do we end this?
What do you suggest? What are you thinking?
I don't know. I guess everybody go to stoke.org. That's it.
Yeah.
Everybody go to stoked.org, or follow us at stoked.org on Instagram. Go to Stoked Mentoring on YouTube, and yeah, just get involved. We're excited to keep this going. And yeah, maybe let's get some coaches next time. Let's get some other people, and
Yeah.
we'll keep it going. All right.
First one, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, man. Thank you.
See ya.